Look, everyone, this is my whiskey barrel. Well, the barrel head. Yeah, I get the barrel soon. I'm very excited. Anyways, welcome back to Tactical and Practical. A couple months ago, I did an episode that was about the keys to scaling past $10 million a year. And I wanted to revisit that and highlight the difference between what a brand needs to be great at 10 million a year and what they need to master to get to 40 and 50 million dollars a year. So if you have not listened to that episode, one of the first things I talked about was finding one core reason why people are buying from you and finding one core customer persona that you need to get to know intimately inside and out, and just market to that one core reason why and that one core customer persona over and over and over and over again. I think that's super important to get to 10 a year, because if you try to do any more than that, below 10 a year, you're not going to do any of them well. You're going to spread your budget and your brain space too thin, and it's not going to go well. The other reason is if your category or your product needs multiple different personas to get to 10 million a year, your TAM is probably tiny. And that's probably not the business that you should be trying to scale like crazy. So I think that's super important to get to 10. And to be honest, you can squeeze one customer persona out from 10 to 15 to 20 in my experience. To get beyond that, you need to unlock more. You need to unlock more reasons why people are buying from you. You need to unlock more customer personas to market to. I think it's super important. And what I've seen at brands that have scaled past that point is a lot of times those next reasons why are complementary to the first one, which is why I still want you to get so good at marketing to the first one, because that second one might just be the gift giver, the gift buyer for your main persona. It might be someone who knows them or is influenced by them. It might be someone who aspires to be them. These all become new personas and new reasons to buy. But if you understand the foundations of your one true reason why, it's going to be way more helpful to unlock all future customer personas. To keep going, to get to 40 and 50 and 60 and beyond, you need to understand all of the reasons why people are buying from you. Sometimes opposite mindsets and opposite motivations can lead someone to the same exact purchasing decision. And in your marketing funnel, there needs to be room for all of those people to find content that resonates with them so you can get them into your brand. The example I always give for this is whiskey. You can buy whiskey because you're happy and celebrating, or you can buy whiskey because you're angry and sad and depressed and frustrated. Two opposite feelings can lead you to the same exact purchase. But if you're only marketing to one of them, you're going to be stuck at 10 million a year for a while. And if you want to break beyond that, you need to start understanding and marketing to multiple reasons why people are buying from you. In the last episode, I also said that you need to find one channel that you can reliably acquire customers on if you want to get past 10 million a year. I think that's super true. And again, it's one of those things that I think is true to like 25 a year. And that channel is Meta. And I think you need to get really good at it still. We are maybe a decade past what people called the golden age of Meta ads, and it's still the biggest and baddest ad platform out there. I hate how much of my money it gets, but there's nothing else like it. So I think you should get really good at it. To get to 50, I think you need to start dabbling in other channels. Now, let me caveat this with saying I fully expect Meta to still make up, greater than 70% of your budget, probably 80 or 85%. But I think you need to start testing some other channels for a couple reasons. One, I still want you to be getting better at content this whole time. And this is a point where I think you need to master different styles of content. To get to 10 million a year, you can have one ad format on one ad channel to one customer persona and get there. I know I've done it at multiple brands. But as you start to grow and market to a more more diversely motivated group of people, and as you start to market on different channels, you're going to have to get better at content. If you're super heavy on videos, I think you're going to have to get statics to work for you at some point, and vice versa. If you've only done super lo-fi UGC stuff, I would love for you to start working to produce higher quality content for YouTube and TV spots. I think this becomes really important because testing new channels can unlock something for you on Meta still. Like when we are going to create net new content for YouTube or AppLovin right now, we're creating content that is different than what we run on Meta. And when one of those hits, we reformat it and run it on Meta. And half the time we get a pretty big win out of it. So this new channel kind of like directive here, half of it is to help reach new audiences. But the other half is like, I think you as a brand need to get better at showing up in different places in the appropriate, platform native kind of way, because it's going to allow you to get better at content and storytelling and messaging. And I think that skill set is going to be really valuable to you. So this is a point where I think more channel expansion can actually help. The last caveat I'll throw on this: you don't need to be on 6 channels to get to 50 million a year. In fact, I know brands who are just on Meta and Google who have soared past it. So don't spread yourself too thin here. The way that I kind of think about it, let's say your usual split is like, I don't know, 80-20 Meta. I'd try to go like 75% Meta, 10% something else, 15% Google, whatever that math is. Because again, I don't want you to get too distracted here. Meta is still going to be your bread and butter. But that I think is really important. The last thing that I think you need to do on your way to 50 million a year is you have to find a way to get influencer to work for you. That looks very different for different brands. For OG, on our way to scaling, was country artists. We wanted them to be, we couldn't afford A-list guys, but we could afford B and C list guys. We wanted to be associated with that scene, lifestyle, Nashville. That was our version of like aspirational content. And it worked great. For other brands, I've seen it's, high school creators and college kid creators. So influencer looks super different depending on your category and brand and customer, but on your way to 50 million, I think you need to get influencer to work for you. You need to find a way to get content out of it that works on your ad channels. You need to find a way to get distribution out of it to reach audiences better than you can with a Meta ad. And I think you need to find a way to do this profitably too, which easier said than done, but it can be done. At OG, our YouTube influencer program was the most profitable channel we had by far. So that's what I have seen. The big differences being when I am managing a brand that does 10 million a year versus 50 million a year. Lessons I've learned along the way. And if you guys are on that journey right now, I hope this helps. All right, next up, we are going to go to Field Tested. This is a segment where I show a real split test that I'm working on right now. I talk you through the results, why it happened, and what I'm going to do next. So this is a headline test on our highest traffic landing pages. And as you can see here, I completely struck out. I tested 3 new variants, and every single one of them is worse than the control. But I bring this up because I think it brings up a really good point, and I really want people to understand the impact of your on-site CRO split testing process. This test is not a loss. This test, where every metric I care about is red, is not a loss, and here's why. One, I figured out 3 things that our customers don't care about. All these different headlines are marketing to different pain points or different reasons why they might be buying from us, and I found out that none of them work as good as our control. That means I don't have to go test these angles in the ad account and waste money spending time and resources and meta ad spend on losers because I know they don't work already. The other thing this tells me is that, like, hey, our control is the best thing we've got right now. So the next phase of testing isn't going to be 3 new angles. It's going to be 3 new ways to message our control angle that is working here. So when a split test loses, yes, while this was live, we were sending 75% of our traffic to a worse landing page experience that drove CAC up. But what this test will teach me and what this test will force me to do next is why our split testing program is so worth it to us. So don't get discouraged when a test comes back red. You should learn from it, and you should apply those learnings to your next phase of testing and to the rest of your marketing funnel. All right, tweet of the week this week goes to Colin Slattery. He is talking about asking agencies to spend too much time prepping decks and giving updates and in meetings. You should go read the full tweet. I'll put it in the show notes. But I think it's really important because this is true whether you're managing an agency or an in-house team. Every minute that they spend on reporting or prepping for a meeting with you or explaining something to you is a minute that they are not working to make you more money. Now, you can't have zero communication because you guys have to be all aligned. But the way that I think about leading teams is like, I want to lead teams with the fewest amount of words necessary for us to all be on the same page, rowing in the same direction in unison and hitting our business goals. I want to use as few minutes and words necessary to help us achieve our goals, because anything else is just wasted motion. So don't be impressed if your agency or your marketing director or whatever comes with a super fancy, thorough report on Monday morning. That means they spent Friday afternoon not trying to make you more money. And I think more often than not, that is a mistake. So shout out Colin for this tweet here. Last up, we got Marketers Anonymous, the segment where I answer your questions in the DMs. If there's anything you don't want to ask publicly, you can ask me, and I'll keep it between us. All right, this question is some career advice from a young marketer. He asks, how do you protect yourself when success depends on things you don't control? Good question. I know a lot of young marketers coming up that feel like they don't have full control, and they kind of like don't hold their own destiny in their hands. To a degree, you're never going to be in full control. There's always going to be things outside of your control. So what I try to do is focus relentlessly on what I can change and do my best to positively impact that. When there are things like within our company that I don't have control over, but I see problems with, I bring them up to leadership. Now, depending on how they respond when you bring those things up, kind of shows you what your next move should be. Hopefully they are receptive and understanding and appreciative that you took the initiative to highlight a problem that wasn't within your direct scope of work. If they respond poorly, maybe that's your sign that you shouldn't be there for too much longer. Um, I think maybe one of the biggest things here that never gets talked about is if you're coming up in your career, there's a art and a skill to picking the right companies to work for. There are companies right now that have, massive tailwinds in the industry that are absolutely crushing. That almost no matter what, a young marketer on the team could do or could contribute, that job on their resume is going to look like a huge win and a huge, valuable credential for them in their next, interview. There are also some companies out there with a bunch of headwinds, or companies with bad operators, or companies with a small TAM, that no matter how great a young marketer might be, they might not be able to overcome everything that company has working against it. So definitely, I'd say like just be mindful of where you work and where you invest your time. Your 20s are such a good place to build like the foundational skills that you're going to need for the rest of your career. And I would always over index on like go take the opportunities where you're going to have the most control. I don't know if it's going to be super helpful for you to be the lowest man on the totem pole at a company that's killing it versus go have, some control and more responsibility over a brand that's smaller that maybe no one has heard of, but I think you'll learn more. And whenever you're looking for your next opportunity, I think you'll be in a way better spot because you can say, I directed, I implemented, I executed, I, strategized to lead to X, Y, and Z outcomes. That's going to be way more powerful to your next employer than if you were just, a small cog in a big machine. Hope that helps. It's helped me a whole bunch. Thanks so much for listening to Tactical and Practical. I will see you next time.